magical moment, or should I say more like a freaky moment. Have you ever been from Wellington to Picton on the fast ferry? Well, I have. This trip was no ordinary trip. It started off with us having to get up really early at 6 o'clock on a Friday morning and hopping in the car and driving to Wellington. It was raining and the weather was horrible. We looked at the sea when we got into Wellington and it was rough as. I started to have second thoughts about going on the links, but then I heard Mum say no turning back now. We were getting on the boat. We sat waiting nice and warm in the terminal waiting to board the links. Unfortunately, our view was the sea. The sea was getting rougher and rougher. I was getting really nervous now. It was finally time to board the links. The boat was filled with school children on school trips, families like us, and not a lot of empty seats. We finally found 4 seats so that we could all sit together. With excitement, we settled down waiting to get on our way. It didn't seem too rough at first, but as we got further out to sea, it soon changed. A large wave came from absolutely nowhere and went right over the top of the boat. People were screaming and throwing up, including my mum and my sister. I was very scared and frightened. I wanted to get off right there and then. The fast ferry soon became the slow ferry, as we had to slowly cross the strait because the sea was so rough. It slowly calmed down as we got closer to Picton, and a nice lady came to see if we were okay and brought us an ice block. We were also very lucky to be able to go to the bridge of the boat to meet the captain and to have a look around. We finally arrived at Picton, and I was so glad to get off that boat. We had a nice time looking around Picton, but in the back of my mind, I knew I had to get back to Wellington somehow. When it was time to get back to Wellington, I asked my mum if we were going back on the links. She said, no, we're going on the slow one, which will be a lot nicer. I was very glad to hear that. The boat ride back to Wellington was slow and there were hardly any waves. I was so happy about that. You know how I said this was a freaky moment? Well, it's still a